Recently, Arkansas Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders posted this picture on her official social media accounts, bragging about the stained glass Christian cross masterpiece her children had created in front of the governor's mansion. I'm shocked. I had no clue anyone in her family had talent. Let's set aside the questions of whether her kids actually drew that from start to finish and why they would draw that, and whether there's really any artistic merit to art that only has straight lines, and if we should all say this is really a symbol of pride because of all the rainbow colors, and whether this image violates the Ten Commandments because it is a form of idolatry. The image in front of the governor's mansion sends a clear message to people in the state. Only Christians are welcome inside those doors. Sanders knows that's the message, and that's why she shared it. She doesn't have any legislative accomplishments to brag about, so going all in on idiotic culture war battles is all she has. And if there's one thing we know Sarah Huckabee Sanders loves to do, it's exploiting child labor. More importantly, she knew if anyone complained about it, she would be able to pretend they just hate Christianity, which is exactly how everything played out. A few days after she posted the image, Americans United for Separation of Church and State sent a letter to Sanders explaining why this was a problem. In short, they wrote, "The governor's mansion is a public building, and religious imagery, if it belongs anywhere there, ought to be in the private areas of the home, like your bedroom." And telling people this artwork was meant to welcome people into the governor's mansion was a clear violation of the Establishment Clause. It sends the message that Arkansas favors one religion over others. The letter said, "A public-facing display in front of an entrance intended to welcome people into the governor's mansion is plainly on the wrong side of the constitutional line. We therefore ask that you remove this display." To be clear, this was not a lawsuit. This was a polite reminder. There's rarely a nice way to tell Christian nationalists to obey church-state separation, but this letter was about as gentle as it could get. I'm glad they did it. Somebody needed to call out Sanders. But they also stepped right into her trap, because not long after AU sent that letter, Sanders publicly responded by saying she would not remove the image, and that she would never hide that I am a Christian, something literally no one was asking her to do, and something we know she would never do. It's pretty much the only thing she talks about.
And I think we have to stop trying to be somebody other than who God created us to be. I think because if we're really living out our faith, you don't separate those things. So often people say, oh, if you're in public service, you shouldn't talk about your faith. Well, I think the opposite is true. A lot of people that have a deep and true faith that are in public service because of their faith. It is what defines them. And I don't think you should separate it. You shouldn't force it on anybody else, but you can't separate that from who you really are.
Again, when any administration goes all in on cruelty and grievances, then it's a safe bet that Jesus is bound to appear in every speech. Gotta make sure Christians stay on your side. She wrote, "In Arkansas, we stand up to bullying liberals. We won't let you power wash our kids' chalk drawings off our front steps. We won't let you tear down Christmas decorations and stomp our traditions into the dirt. We don't live our lives in fear of strongly worded letters coming down from Washington. I am offended by the implication that just because I am a Christian, I am somehow a bigot." I hope you like my Sarah Huckabee Sanders impression. Where to begin? No one bullied her. No one was trying to power wash her drawing or her kids' drawings or the drawings of anyone in Arkansas away. No one was murdering Santa or burning down churches either, for what it's worth. Americans United is based in Washington, but I'm guessing she would have raged against a letter from the ACLU of Arkansas too. And no one called her a bigot. I mean, at least not in the letter from Americans United anyway. I do it all the time because she absolutely is, but this isn't about me. And no one's calling her a bigot because she's a Christian, by the way. We're calling her a bigot because, well, she is a bigot. It's the sort of letter conservatives write in advance when they know they're about to rile up progressives, because none of it addresses the relevant points AU brought up. It just plays into whatever the MAGA cultists want to hear. Her father, Mike Huckabee, got in on the action as well, calling the people at Americans United bully Christophobes. Maybe the most disingenuous thing in Sanders' response is the line that all Arkansans are welcome in the governor's mansion, despite the cross imagery. Actually, she writes, all people of all faiths are welcome, which excludes atheists, before saying we are one nation under God, which excludes atheists and, let's be honest, presumably all non-Christians too. But it's not like Sanders would be satisfied if someone who didn't share her faith pulled a similar publicity stunt. If a Muslim governor had drawn a symbol of Islam in a similar location, or Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro had the Star of David placed in front of his publicly funded home, or some other liberal governor had a pride flag painted in front of her state-owned mansion, you just know Sanders would be issuing angry press releases about how un-American and anti-Christian it was. And if their kids drew it, you better believe she'd call it indoctrination or brainwashing. There is one hilarious thing about this whole episode, though. The forecast for Little Rock in the days after this controversy included a lot of thunderstorms. So by the time you see this video, it is possible Sanders has delivered a public statement all about how the rain is persecuting her Christian family. I wouldn't put it past her. She's got nothing better to do.